This video, we're going to talk about 1.4, Objective 4, where we identify possible sources of bias in a statistical study. So let's look at problem 1 here. An article noted that chocolate is rich in flavonoids. The article reports that regular consumption of foods rich in flavonoids may reduce the risk of coronary heart disease. The study received funding from a candy company. There's a problem, right? And a chocolate manufacturer and Chocolate Manufacturers Association. Identify and explain at least one source of bias in the study described, then suggest how the bias might have been avoided. So B, the researchers may have been more inclined to provide favorable results because the funding was provided by a party with a definite interest. The bias could have been avoided if the researchers were not paid by the candy company and the chocolate manufacturers. So, go. When author Sherry Height wrote Women and Love, A Cultural Revolution in Progress, she based conclusions about the general population of all women on 4,500 replies that she received after mailing 100,000 questionnaires to various women's groups. So identify and explain a source of bias in the study, then suggest how the bias might have been avoided. So let's first identify and explain a source of bias in the study. And that would be returning the questionnaires was voluntary, which is C. And then suggest how the bias might have been avoided and select all that apply. So the correct option here is D, that the author could have interviewed a randomly selected sample of women. And then let's look at question 3 here. A volunteer receives a call in which the caller claims to be conducting a national opinion research poll. The voter is asked if their opinion about a congressional candidate would change if they knew that the candidate once had a car crash while driving under the influence of alcohol. Identify and explain at least one source of bias in the study described, then suggest how the bias might have been avoided. So the wording of the question is biased to strengthen opposition against a particular candidate. The question wording should be changed to be more neutral. So that's one of the things there. They wanted to elicit a particular response, so they asked the question a certain way. All right, next time we'll come back and talk about 1.4 Objective 5, so we'll see you for the next video.